It's lovely to see you here today, Peggy. I thought it would just be nice to have a little bit of a conversation following on Kevin Gaskell's keynote speech today. I mean, I thought that was really inspiring. He was talking about leadership and leadership in a different way. What are your views on leadership?
My predominant view on leadership has a lot to do with, I think there's a reason we have one mouth and two ears. And so I believe, like what he said, we need to set the vision. You know, leaders need to set vision, but really and truly, we need to inspire the youth. And the youth being anybody in an organization, so not necessarily an age-related thing. They could be new in their career or new in that company. So, you know, my view on leadership is I try to lead the way I'd want to be led. I'd like to have the freedom. I'm a risk taker. I personally like to have the freedom to take risks, to make mistakes, but to grow from those mistakes. And he gave a couple of analogies this morning about the fear of jumping out of the aircraft, you know, and I called it cliff jumping. That's what we used to call it when I was coming of my career age, and we would say, we're gonna jump on a cliff, jump off the cliff. Sometimes we'll have a parachute on our back, sometimes we're gonna land on a jagged rock, and sometimes it's gonna be fantastic. But you have to have a support structure and an environment that embraces that, because failure is a pathway to growth, and people shouldn't be afraid of it. So that's my philosophy.
So this very much supports what you're doing to help HR to be more strategic, to be partners, to be part of the business making decisions.
Yeah. So you know what, Fiona, you've hit on a key there, and one of the things that I try to get out and talk so much about is helping our HR practitioners understand how to position what we do in mobility as revenue supporting instead of expense driven. So instead of looking at, I'm moving somebody from point A to point B and it's going to cost me, you know, whatever, you know, 100,000 pounds, or it's going to, you know, be a long-term assignment that's going to be in the millions, et cetera. Let's talk about the business objectives and how this move is supporting those objectives, and what revenue channels and what support is it doing. I think when you can turn that conversation around, you can then say mobility is more strategically aligned rather than a cost to a business. And that's, to me, that's a critical bend that we need to make in the dialogue, and I don't think we're there. So there's tremendous opportunity for us, but we've got to change that language. That's what I believe.
And what about digital natives, young people? I mean, how do you think the world's going to change for them, supporting them as global leaders and going on international assignment?
Exactly, Fiona. Great insights and questions with that. So, you know, the group of millennials that are coming into the workforce right now intend to be in a job every 18 to 24 months. It has nothing to do with the company, it just is the way that they've come into the landscape. That's the first thing. The second thing is they want to be global, period. So they don't want to look at a career that stays with one company or in one geography. So their value and how they want to experience the world is about going around the world and seeing that. So I absolutely believe we're going to see this shift in the demand for what these people, as you said, digital natives, they only came into a world that was customized for them. They were marketed to individually, and I use a lot of analogies like with Amazon. I'm a big advocate of Amazon, and I, love what they've been able to do. And the great thing about Amazon is that even though they have millions of Prime members, they always make you feel like you're the only one. So if I'm out and I'm looking for, a particular book, the next day or that afternoon they serve up to me, oh, we saw you looking at this book, what do you think about this, this, and this? These group of people that are coming into this workforce that we're going to be moving, the world marketed to them at an individual personal level. We need to make our mobility programs and experience that personal. So digital is an avenue for making that occur. There's marketing automation, there is a way we communicate, be it text or chat or Snapchat or whatever it might be. But the real lynch there, I think, is making them feel unique and a part of the personal element of a move, as opposed to, well, you're going to get this policy and this policy and this policy. Really? How come you didn't talk to me about what I wanted? Because that's how I grew up.
And another group that's perhaps not talked about enough is women on international assignments. It's really disappointing that female international assignments are flat tracking, sometimes going down year by year. So, I mean, what do you think we can do about that, and how can we find out what women really want?
You know, Fiona, I think we have to look to pioneers who have led us in this space already, be it CEOs of organizations. You know, I'm most familiar with the U.S. organizations, but you've got Marissa Mayer running Yahoo. You've got some great female leaders. Lean In, Sheryl Sandberg, you know, the COO of Facebook. You need to have some of those pioneers that say it's okay, first and foremost, to have a career as a woman and to be a mom. And I don't think in all markets we've done it at senior levels. We've said it's okay for a woman to be in the working field, but I'm talking leadership and on boards of directors, and I don't think we see that part enough. I think once you begin to accept that, and look, from the US, we haven't yet had our first female president. I mean, that's insane, right? So when we begin to elevate women in leadership positions, then I think you can begin to look at other parts of a female's experience in the workforce, be it in the mobility space or going abroad and, you know, bringing all those elements. But we need some pretty serious role models that can not only pave the way, but be the voice for the future behind them. And I don't think we've done enough, certainly not in the United States.
Well, we're certainly giving it a good shot here.
Yeah, good.
At Relocate, we've been covering it a lot, but we've also brought together a group of people who are really good at facilitating and trying to talk to people, listen and think. It's really looking at a new kind of leadership, which will hopefully engage with women at all sorts of levels, and particularly bring in younger people.
I think we have to. I think the female voice is an important voice in the diversification of products and services. I was just speaking with Jo. She talked to me about your Women in Leadership Luncheon that you hosted yesterday, and a lot of great, fantastic things. And I think it's people, leaders like yourself, Jo, that need to show that it's okay, that you can do this, and to take young people coming out of school and saying it's okay to choose a career and it's okay to move up in the ranks, and families will potentially be and feel differently than in the past, but no less important, just different.
So finally, just what's your view for global mobility in the future? Have you got a positive outlook, and do you think it's an exciting future? I
do. You know what? I have always looked from my lens as a glass overflowing. I'm not a half full or half empty. I am it's overflowing. I'm very, very bullish on mobility for a variety of reasons that we talked about. I think that people coming into the workforce want to experience the global world. Who better to do that than our industry? Who better to provide those avenues for them? I think countries have to make it easier for that commerce to occur. You know, we talked earlier about the challenges around compliance. We've got to make those issues less, and we're creating barriers to our own success. So, but what I like to look at instead of the barriers is we're rich with opportunities. We just got to be the pioneer with the drill bit to, you know, go through all those avenues and to say we're going to make this work. The minute we close ourselves down to that, we've stopped the innovation, which is at the heart of what Kevin was saying this morning. Don't do that. We can't do that.
No, we can't afford to do that, and I think engagement is absolutely the key. So thank you for starting that conversation with us, and we'll look forward to talking in the future with WRC and the whole global mobility profession. Thanks very much, Peggy.
Thank you, Fiona. I'm delighted to be here.